And I'm back. And what I'm working on here today is a Chinese scooter. It's a John Way scooter. It's a 50cc. And I've done a couple of things with this already. I changed the ignition switch. That wasn't on film. But what happens with these ignition switches is there's a lock in it. And, you know, the lock breaks. And so that was changed last week. I can show you the old one. I can show you how it broke off. So this thing's set for a year or two with the gas in it. Okay, so the carburetor gummed up. So what I did here the other day was I got it to turn over, but it wouldn't fire up. And then what I did was I took off the breather. This is where the air filter is here. I took this off and I squirted a little bit of ether in here, quick start, and it fired right up. So that tells me that the carburetor is not picking up fuel on its own. So here's the replacement carburetor, and this whole kit, carburetor, intake bellows, a filter, and a fuel filter was $39 delivered, Canadian. So I mean, what's that, about probably $27 American. So the old carburetor, I'll take it apart and clean it, but so we'll have a spare. But it's really easy just to get these knockoff carburetors and put them in. Okay, so down in underneath here, there's a cover, and you can access the top of the carburetor that way. But I'm going to take out this whole pan. Just two bolts here holding the intake down, so take those off. Okay, and there's a clamp right here. Okay, so this piece off the front here. There's a couple of hidden screws here. Unless it threads out. Oh, it just screws in. Okay, that makes more sense. And then there's a screw in behind it. This. Okay. Put the retainer nut back on there. Look at these. That's out of the way sufficiently. Now we've got to get this bucket out of here. Oh, I see there's a screw here. And I think the whole thing's going to fall apart like a $2 suitcase here in a minute. Yeah. A moment. Oh. It's just a rubber bung around it, like that. Right. And I think we got the whole thing now. Seat and everything. There it is. Yeah, just 7,000 easy steps. Fuel cap back on. Wires, I can just connect right here. Like so. And there's the seat and the black box. And I think I'll just leave them intact because they're connected to the signal light. I'll just set them aside while we do this. Okay, so I've taken off these two nuts on this bellows that connects it to the intake. Okay, so there's another clamp over here. We're going to get that. Okay, so for the throttle cable, I'm not going to touch the nut on this side of that plate. I'm just going to loosen the one on this side. Okay, so for the throttle cable, it's a 12mm wrench. I'm just going to loosen the one on this side here, on that side of that plate, because I don't want to lose the length of my adjustment. I'm going to turn the throttle plate so that I can release that barrel on the end of the cable. See right here? See that came out? Okay, and then we can just pull this back and then when the cable's in line with the slot, we'll pull that and we'll set that aside. And then if we haven't touched the other nut, we haven't disturbed our setting for the length of the cable. Okay, that's good. Now, what else do we need to do here? We have a connection for the enricher, which is the, in effect, it's the choke. So we gotta, okay, move that cable out of the way, and that connector is way over here. I'm just gonna snip these zip ties here. There's a couple of them, and that frees up those wires so I can move them around a bit with my fingers. And that connector, okay, there's another one. Of course, they've buried it down in there somewhere. There we are. Okay, so there's a bit of a protective sleeve here. I'm going to pull this out. That's it there, that red connector. So we want to get down in here if we can and undo that. A little bit of a pinch. There it is. Off it comes. All right. Get that out of the way. All right, now there's a fuel line on here, but we'll get lots of slack in that. There's a fuel filter here. The fuel going to the carburetor there, so we got enough room to lift this out of here. Lift it out. And then there's a couple of things. There's a vacuum line going here. So we can disconnect this clip. Take that vacuum off of there. Like so. Just a twist, and that comes off of there. We'll save that clip aside for later. All right. Now, a matter of pulling that out there. That's off the air intake. All right, now the only thing left on here is, this is a drain. It was just laying down in there like that. Some of them are bolted onto the frame. And this is the fuel intake here, right here. So we can take off that clip, and we'll pull this hose back, like so. And that's it. Let's see, is that going to leak out of there? I don't think it is. I think the fuel is pulled through by vacuum on these. Yeah, that looks okay. And there's the whole carburetor. Like so. All right. All right, and that little, see that little web in the rubber at the top? It goes onto that line on the side of the carburetor. Okay, that's good. And we can tighten this clamp. Okay, that's good. All right, let's compare these, how these look. This has got the line for the enricher. That's an identical clip. And it doesn't have this plastic cover on the top, but that's okay. That's just a copy that they've made. It's got a little vent here on the side. Same on this one. It's got a vent. Just a vent to atmosphere. So that's for the bowl. And then they have this, it's the drain line. This one wasn't connected to anything. This one just hangs down as well. And then you can see a fitting on here, and that's for the vacuum from the intake. And we'll take this hose, because none came with the kit. We'll use this one off the old one. We'll put that over on the new, put that on the new one here, just like that. And we'll squeeze that on there. They look identical. On the side, looks the same. On the other side. Okay, the scooter comes with a really large fuel filter, and the aftermarket kit came with this little one. And most people would say change it, but I think I'm going to leave that big one in there. It's got a lot more surface area. All right, so we're ready for the new carb. So we'll put that on there, like that. All right. Now we could probably put our throttle cable on there too, which is probably not a bad idea while we have it up. Bring that barrel over, stick it in, bring it back, let it go. And we'll bring it back here and we'll slide the cable in there like that, and then we'll bring the nut up on it. And you'll remember we didn't turn that other nut, so our adjustments should be very similar for the throttle. Okay, that can go back up there, and we'll tighten that. That's 12 millimeter. And we'll snug that. Just like that. Get that on there. Make sure it's bottomed out. There it is. Okay, good. I forgot to show you, but there is an O-ring in there. And I can confirm that the O-ring is in there. It's that 2-terminal connector right in here. Yeah, okay, that's it. I can see that the tab has gone through that hole. That's fine. Okay, so here's that little vacuum line. And we've got a clamp for it. And we'll put that vacuum line over here. Like so. Okay, what I did was that clip wasn't securing the vacuum line very well, so I put a zip tie on it, cinched it down nice and tight. That'll be fine. Now, tighten this clamp. Okay, and we got another one here. Make sure that's nice and tight. Okay, I'm going to tighten down these nuts on the intake. Just firm is good. Okay, so we're going to put this box in. See how there's a hole in the bottom? I know some people would try and make this change just through the hole in the bottom, and I thought I could too, but then I looked at it and thought, well, probably just so much easier to take it off, right? All right, that's that. And truth be told, that floor plate didn't have to come out, but it was kind of nice to see everything out of there. I'll put this back piece on, all right? So I take out the fuel cap and sit this down over, just like that. Okay, put the gas cap back in because I don't want to smell that fuel. This little connector right here, which is for the tail light. All right, so we'll just put that back together. Okay. Now the side covers. First, before we put the side covers in, there's a couple of screws holding this soft tail in place. Let's call it a soft tail. It's a part Harley, this scooter right here. There's a retainer with a captured nut on it. Put it up on here, like so. And then this, it's got every appearance of a crankcase breather. And that vent hose just sits up in there under the seat. Okay. All right, and the side cover comes down. Like so. Screws are in here. All right. Tuck this guy in. Like that. Through here. Through that. One and two. And we got this pretty chrome one that goes down on the bottom here. And let's get those tightened down. Okay, so I wound it over a few times. Doesn't want to pick the fuel up, so I got a bit of ether here. I'm just going to put a squirt of ether in the breather. Let's see if this will go. Now you got a kickstand up because there's a safety switch in the kickstand. Key on. Okay, so it's running on the ether. Let's try and run it again. A little bit more ether. See if we can get it to pick the fuel up. Let's try that again. Coming down there to a normal idle. I don't think I'm going to try and adjust that at all. For now, I think that's okay. There it is. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The John Way scooter is running again. And there you go. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, make a comment down below, and we'll see you again here very soon on Everyday Projects. Bye for now.